cause they hope I show. I'm a bitch, I'm a boss, I'm a bitch and a boss, I'm a shine like gloss, I'm a bitch, I'm a boss, I'm a bitch.
Wait, 72% of you guys are not subscribed. Compared to my last video, you tell me there's only been like a 7% decrease? What? Boy, if you don't, can you just like take your time to hit that subscribe button? It would really help a lot. Please. Yo, what's good J5 community? It is Jeff here, and today guys I'm gonna be teaching you guys how to make transitions just like Sc6ut. So if you guys currently don't know, this situation right now is currently 3 AM. I am tired, but you know what, I just decided to make this tutorial because yeah, why not? I've already got my clips laid out here, as you guys can see. So we're working with Squidward this time round, and here's what we have so far. It's just basic trickster clip of Squidward just doing his walking pattern. So now we're going to start off with the first clip. So in this first clip, all you can see is Squidward just walking forth. What I'm going to do is create a motion tile. If you guys don't know what this does, basically anytime I zoom out, it does like a mirrored image, and what a motion tile allows us to do is create this mirrored image that you can blur out when you create a graph, and the faster the graph moves, the more blurred out the motion tile becomes. So yeah, that's how I can explain it on light terms. So I'm gonna make these for every single clip, as you guys can see. So now every single clip I have here has motion tile added onto it, so I'm just gonna close these windows. What I love to do, like at the start of like any edit in general, is do a zoom out transition. In order to do this, what I do is keyframe scale. So as you can see, there's this diamond thing right over here. What this diamond thing does is just creates like a distance in how large you want to effect to take place, if that makes sense. That's basically the way I can explain it. So yeah, so you create a keyframe like that, and you move it to the end of the actual comp. And the values I love to start off with is, let's say 300, because like this is like an impact zoom out. So as you can see, if I just play it out, it's just like a normal zoom out thing going on, nothing too special. So in order to fix this issue, what I like to do is F9 easy ease and create this graph. Alright, and with this graph I left a little bit of space for the transition because it doesn't need to be too fast since it's like a zoom out transition. So obviously enable motion blur to blur the transition, and you will end up with something like this. See, just a nice zoom out thing we got. So after that zoom out, what I'd like to do is transition into Squidward walking here. What you can see he's like walking towards the door, and then here he's walking on the right side. I done that intentionally because I want to show you guys how I make my transitions go towards the right side, if I can make that make sense. So what I do is create a node. This is just like an add-on, you know. If you just want to create a node, you hit Ctrl Shift Alt Y on the keyboard, or you can go new, no object, and it's here. But for now, we'll just do it like this. And then with the no object, you want to parent the actual main clip to the no. So you got something like this. Alright, so once you got the no object like this, what you want to do now is to make it the anchor point go towards the right side, like here-ish. So what that allows us to do is to allow us to zoom into this particular part of the clip. So you can see zooming in, and you can see like the bit of the motion towel here, hence why we added it in the first place. So let's just transition. Obviously make it last a few frames, like around here ish is good. And straight out the zoom out, I wanted to zoom in, let's say like 450, because why not? And then since like I use such a high value, you want to drag this back a tiny bit so that you can create like a little bit of pacing between your transitions. And then now you just pull this point down and then pull this here. So that's the type of graphs you'd want, something like this. So now it's just a zoom out from Sc6ut walking, and then a zoom in to this direction. So now in order to have the transition zoom out from the same direction, you want to create the keyframes for the scale. Hit Y to control the anchor point, move the anchor point to around here ish, set the scale down to let's say 50. So now we have like a mirrored image of like Sc6ut coming from there. Alright, and now what we're going to do is F9, create this graph since it's the inverse, something like this, add motion blur, and you should get something like this. So if I play that out, you see there's like a tiny bit of towel here. You really do not want to see that, so you might want to make the graph a tiny bit tighter, let's say like around here ish, and then just play that back. Obviously if you want to add a towel, we're going to add like effects on top to make it invisible, but it's not too visible to some extent. If you want to have your towels that badly, you can make it the values a bit higher, let's say 70-ish, and then boom, graph it a bit higher. That's not what I want. Yeah, this. And you can see there's a small amount of tile, but it's not to a large extent. So for now we'll leave it like that. The next thing you want to do after making that transition, as you can see, Sc6ut walks into this direction here. So for us to make this make sense, we're gonna create a new node layer, keyframe scale. I'm gonna grab Y, drag the anchor point around here-ish, because that's the direction Sc6ut comes towards. And then we're gonna set this to 300 again. Actually, no, 450, just to keep the same flow, because why not? And then F9 on the keyboard, easy ease, drag this node down, drag this part, the graph here, hit motion blur, and then we have Sc6ut walking into that direction. And now to follow up that transition, we're simply gonna hit scale on the keyboard, move this all the way to the end of the comp. We're gonna move the anchor point to around the same place we put it. So here we put it around here in the actual comp. So you want to have the anchor point around here, this direction. And we're gonna make this 50 as well. And now we're just gonna create this graph here. So just create that graph, add motion blur, and then boom, we got these transitions, zooming into there, and then the zooming of him walking into that direction. Now what I'd like to do is adjust the graphs a bit, because some of the tiles are revealing, you don't want that to reveal too much. So what I like to do is, like, once I make all the transitions, I make a composition and then scale in a tiny bit so that it's not too visible. Well, for now, we'll just let it slide. So I'm just gonna finish this off with a zoom out since we zoomed in at the start. So let's say 50 for a zoom out. Move this keyframe around here. Hit F9 on the keyboard. I'm gonna drag this up. Drag this in a bit. And then what we should end up with is something like this. Yeah, as you can see, it's very smooth. You know, it's kind of like the exact style that Sc6ut will go for. And then what most people tend to do when I say that we can hide the tiles to make it less visible. So let me set this back to 50 just to prove my point. So here you can see this tiling, but it's not too visible. What you want to do is create an adjustment layer on top of the composition. I'm gonna add something called is it warps? Yeah, I think it's just warp. Yeah. So I'm gonna add a warp. I'm gonna make this a fisheye. We're gonna change the bend to 0, so nothing happens yet. We're gonna increase the bend to, let's say, like 90, and actually negative 90. My bad, because we wanted to warp out since it's like a no, we wanted to warp in. My fault. Since we're zooming in, you wanted to warp in. That's what I was trying to say. So make it 10 frames. I should have did that at the start. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10 frames. Now we can cut this out. F9 on the keyboard. Ease this. And we're gonna graph it something like this. So just have this stay there and then have this warp in. And now we're gonna do another warp like this. Make sure it's a fish eye like that. And then set this to negative 90 since we're warping out. And then count 10 frames. So I would keyframe it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and that's 10 frames there. Change that to 0. Alright. Now you want to graph it somewhat similar to the first one. So it goes like this and then out. So now you got something like this. You can see like it's warpy and the tiles are not too visible when it's playing back really fast. And it's a good way to make your transitions pop a bit more. So what I tend to do with these warps is like pre-compose them into like one comp. Make like a marker here, change the color of this to something, and then make it like an adjustment layer so that I can paste it on top of my other comps like this. And then boom, you got your warps. Alright, so that's pretty much it for this tutorial, guys. If you guys want me to go over how I do my texture, I'll do that for my next tutorial. But for now, I appreciate all the love you guys have shown me so far. To have over 1,000 subscribers is pretty crazy, you know. So hopefully looking to gain more subscribers and do more of these things. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Also, don't forget to check out my other editing stuff, my other channels. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. This is Jeff and I'm out. Peace.